and welcome to Street Commodores Live Volume 7. We're here out the front of Ray Jenner Bodyworks to check out the progress on Project Phoenix.
Got some great action on this month's DVD. Let's start with Easternats.
Easternats hit the Sandown International Raceway with spectacular results over the Easter long weekend, and we sent our web editor Chris down to Melbourne with more cameras than one man could ever need or use at one time for that matter. Once you step through the gates at Sandown and make your way through the thick haze of tyre smoke, it doesn't take long to realise that this is not your ordinary car show. With a cruise route spanning the entire length of the Sandown racing circuit, competitors were able to open up the throttle and enjoy some tail-happy power slides without having to check the rear vision mirror afterwards for fear of legal retribution. The main straight was even divided into two lanes, with the second lane being solely dedicated to those who wanted to do a serious skid. Easternats isn't just about turning tyres, with many drivers lining up for their chance to be Easternats fastest in drag racing grudge matches that take place on the main straight. Spotted were a few Street Commodores X feature cars, such as the turbocharged and stroked VS V6 Ute owned by Andrew Cohen. Andrew did the full V6 rebuild himself, which also included some custom plenum work to allow for the intercooler piping. The V6 was on song all weekend, only getting a rest when the petrol level dropped below the E mark. What car festival would be complete without a burnout comp? Well, this event is held in Victoria after all, and if it's one thing they know how to do down there, it's give a car an absolute thrashing. With such a massive turnout of entrants year after year, there's no doubt that this event is only going to get bigger and better as more people discover just how fun it is to rip a few laps of Sandown with a car full of mates.
I'm here in front of Project Phoenix, which one of you lucky subscribers is going to be able to win. Now we're taking a look at the engine bay here, which has had a lot of work put into it by the guys at Raygenna Bodyworks. Now we'll have a look at the battery support tray here, which was actually very, very rusty when we first brought it in. The strut towers have all been smoothed out, and the firewall has been smoothed as well. Now all the lumps and bumps have been removed, and the radiator support panel has had all the unnecessary holes welded up. Now it's pretty damn smooth, and it's in primer waiting for paint while the rest of the body gets repaired. That's going to be one seriously nice machine when it's finished. Two other nice machines that we filmed recently were the Rajab Racing pair, so let's have a look at them.
It's a Friday arvo, just finished work. On my way home to clean off the dirt. Getting ready for tonight, put on the shirt. Looking for some fun, cause it's what I deserve. My mate calls up, says come around here. We'll go for a drive to a bottle-o near. And stop at the bottle-o, buy a case of beer. To get so drunk that there's nothing to fear.
It's basically twin turbo, engine wise it's got steel rods, our own custom made steel rods, our own custom made pistons. It's got our own headwork, our camshaft in it. Pretty much everything on the car's been done by us, man. From exhaust manifolds to you name it. Basically it's got just a power glide in it, it's got a Matic M800 on it. It's got one of our intake manifolds on it. It's got a pair of GT3540s on it. Twin turbo smart wastegates.
Hope that tonight will give us all that it takes. Cause Friday nights are what dreams make. Forget all the fights, forget all mistakes. As the world turns and as the world twirls, there's nothing better on this earth than girls. Long hair, short hair, blonde hair curls. Australia, the best place in the world.
Okay, interior pretty much I've got the HSV VXGDS seats. I've got 4 of them in. I've got 2 in the front, 2 in the back. Got some TV screens in the back of the headrests. Bit of a stereo setup in it, nothing much.
This night will probably be the best night ever, but we say that every night, so whatever. We will still remember this night forever.
Paint wise, it's Harlequin, it's green to purple. Got painted 4.5 years ago. Till date, it still picks up trophies at every show it goes to for paint work.
With a bit of coke and my other mate's spewing cause his bottle just broke. I might be the dumbest person I know.
Wheels, 21-inch wheels. Lexanis I chose because not many people had them.
Threw a lot of things right out the window, but as we all roll down that long road, we'll still have Friday night forever.
The car got built in memory of a fallen brother a couple of years back that passed away, and just tried making it better and better and better as time came, and it doesn't want to end.
I wish every night was a Friday night.
Basically, I'd like to get rid of the car. No engine, no gearbox. This way someone can appreciate it and drive it, you know? Because since I've had it in the 4 years, I've probably driven it about 4 or 5 times, and every time you always get hassled, and it's one thing I don't need anymore. You kind of grow out of it. I don't want to stuff it up, I don't want to chip it, I don't want to scratch it, and anything like that's going to put everyone off the car, you know? And with everything I've done in the engine bay, like all the seamless work and all the rails, how I've done everything, and it's a little bit different than any other VL out there.
It's all good, it's all right. All day, all night. Do whatever in your heart that feels right. If there's a small...
It's a VL Turbo Commodore, a 1988 model, single overhead cam, single turbo configuration, and runs a 3-litre, 6-cylinder engine Nissan with a 2-speed power glide transmission, and then transmits all that through a Ford 9-inch diff.
Do whatever in your heart that feels right. If there's a small cake, take a big bite. We'll party hard until we see the bright light, and you'll never know what the future has for your side. So let's just chill out and see what goes on.
The car's currently run a 838 at 162.98. Currently fastest in the world for a 6-cylinder 3-litre Commodore.
Roll down that long road, we'll still have Friday night forever. I wish every night wish every night was a Friday night, you know?
What we're planning to do hopefully is we've got a 5-speed manual transmission, a clutchless, so that'll be getting fitted, we're hoping next year sometime, and yeah, we'd like to run a 7 before we go any further.
How good was that? Well, another good thing about Project Phoenix, still up in the front of the car, is the work that Steve at MCAL did to our wiring. As you all know, the wiring in a Commodore engine bay is usually really crap, and Steve worked really hard to hide it all behind the front guard. So instead of all being cluttered up in the engine bay, it'll all be hidden away nice and tidy, matching the smooth engine bay. So let's check out the SAS Dyno Day.
Right, we're here at SAS for the Horsepower Clothing Dyno Day. Headlining act is Gary Pope's 1200 rear wheel horsepower VX SS. It's on the dyno pretty soon, so let's go check it out.
Ships are sinking, down and out of towners are everywhere. Tell me why, it's got me thinking. Everybody's laughing and no one cares.
No doubt the main attraction here today would be Gary's VXSS Blow 402 with its new massive turbo setup. He was at Power Cruise 1 week ago and he laid down some serious numbers then. He came back, he was telling us that Street Commodores Dyno Day was going to be the day. Gary, what's happened, mate?
It looks like we broke the shaft on the turbo.
What did we lay down before that though?
Not 100% certain. We pulled 900 on the first pull, 995 on the second pull, and snapped the shaft.
Okay, pretty breezy, 995 horsepower at the rear wheels. Now, mate, you're coming back at the Victorian Dyno Day down at Amberley Autos, aren't you? You told me before.
That's correct, yeah. Back at Horsepower Factory back in May the 12th. We're going to, the basic plan is to run 30 plus PSI in May, and then we'll strip the motor, see what the motor's doing, and get it set up for summer nats. We've got a fair bit of testing in front of us. We've got 9 months of testing, which is good this time, instead of having a couple of days.
Yeah, nice one.
Obviously, we weren't expecting this to happen, but that's what life's about, unfortunately.
It's cars for you, mate.
That's cars. You get over it. I'm disappointed for the people that turned up today. We would have liked to put down some bigger numbers, but unfortunately that's it. We can't run it any further.
Matt, I don't think you have any contenders for outright horsepower on the day. I don't think you need to fret too much.
Nobody likes to be pushed to the side. Everybody knows why the ships are sinking, down and out of towners are everywhere.
Alright, so if you've got issue 121 handy, open up and you'll find Bruce's VK in there, 355 VK. It's the number plate suggested to 355 stroke a Holden V8. Mate, what else is done to it?
Mate, Paul from Brunkley done most of it. We changed the driveline, diff, 9-inch diff, 31 spine billet, axles, 389 ratio, full manualised 350 turbo box, twin 3-inch system, mandrel bent. And yeah, it's at where I wanted to be now.
So it's a tough bit of gear, mate. You've just rolled off the dyno. What did it lay down?
322.5.
Nice one.
Got to be happy with it.
Yeah, man, definitely for a streeter.
Yeah, maybe drive it every day, hold that when I can, yeah.
Nice one. That's what we like to see. real street-driven Commodores. Hard press missing Rubin's genuine HTT here, mate. The plates give the game away. You want to tell us a bit about the motor?
Well, it's a fresh motor, probably done about 250 Ks on it. It's got all the good bits, all the good machining. Just waiting to whack it on the dyno, see what kind of horsepower it makes.
Yep, cool.
So,
you're going to roll it on this dyno here today?
Yeah, I'm booked in for it, so see how it goes.
What are we hoping for at the treads?
I'd say about 350, but see what happens.
Cool, and the rest of the car is extremely tidy as well, mate. The interior all genuine and just very clean.
Well, it was reupholstered by the previous owner. I'm just going to keep it like that. Yeah.
That's what we like to see, guys. Big motors, smooth bays, awesome paint, clean interior. It's the makings of a feature car.
Everybody's laughing and no one cares.
Alright, so one of the few feature cars here today is Mig's VNSS, mate. It's possibly the most spastic looking motor here, next to Gary's, of course. What are we looking at?
355 supercharged, V7 YSI blower. It's made 625 at the wheels before.
Yep.
620 at the nuts. So I'll see how we go today.
What are we going to lay down today? Any kind of guess or hazard a guess? Or
we're hoping for 620 again.
Yep.
See how we go.
We do actually have some project cars in Street Commodores that do get off the ground. There's a running one right here in front of us. It's our own Project Seagull, owned by our rev editor Chris. Hey, what's it laid down in the past?
It's 188 kilos of wheels before with a fairly rich tune, so tune's been fixed up. Hopefully we'll go over 190 kilos of the wheels, so I don't know.
And the Raptor setup, man, you can't fault that?
No, the Raptor's good. The Raptor's going good. So well fun to drive.
We've got the intercooler hiding behind the front bar. When's that getting plumbed up?
I want to get the chance to. It's there, but it's there for looks at the moment, so I'm a bit of a ricer actually.
I've always said that about you. Let's wait and see what this thing puts out.
Left in the darkness.
So it's the New South Wales Dyno Day at SAS, all wrapped up. Be sure to check out the Street Commodores forum for a Dyno Day in your state. We've got them coming up in Victoria, HPF, and up in Queensland at the Brock Shop. So check it out. See you there.
Now in its fourth year, the Street Commodores magazine Cruise for Charity is set to tear up the streets in aid of the Starlight Children's Foundation, raising money for sick kids. 2006 saw over 2,000 Commodores of all shapes and sizes gather across 4 states, enabling a cheque of over $57,000 to be handed to the Starlight Children's Foundation. Raising the bar further for the 4th running of the cruise, 6 capital cities across Australia will play host to the event. Maguire's, House of Colour and Motoractive.com.au are major sponsors of Cruise for Charity 4, which represents a huge show of faith in the national events by some of Australia's premier aftermarket suppliers. We're hoping to see 3,000 Commodores attend the 6 events in 2007, with estimated donations totalling over $80,000. With your support, we can change the lives for more sick children and put a smile back on their faces. So come be a part of the biggest Commodore event in history on these dates. Sydney, Saturday, July 28. Perth, Saturday, August 4th. Gold Coast, Sunday, August 12. Adelaide, Saturday, August 18. Melbourne, Sunday, August 26. Hobart, Sunday, September 9. There's huge prizes to be won, including products from Forced Induction Technologies, Stomp Shop, Horsepower Clothing, Capricorn Link, and Auto One, just to name a few. So come be part of history in the making and make life a little easier for Australia's sick kids too.
The LS1 scene is hotly contested, with many vying for trivial titles such as the fastest unopened and the fastest bolt-on only car. Many people get caught up in this, but not Martin. At the end of the day, he just wants a fast car. Uncle, as many know him, is the man behind this Bermuda Blue over Silver rocket and has gone along a path of modifications with the help of the boys at Castle Hill Exhaust. First up were the simple mods of fitting an over-the-radiator cold air intake. Fitting the intake wasn't really rocket science. It was simply a case of out with the old and in with the new. The tuners were experienced and know-how comes in handy, and Dale from CHE has done enough to know the process backwards.
Right, we've just loaded in the HP Tuners real-time programming, which is their new software for them. So we're just going to run it through all the load points and map all the fuel and ignition points.
With the increased airflow, it's important that the engine map, timing and air-fuel ratios are adjusted so as not to do any damage to the engine.
This is a standard VU timing map. This is what we'll be putting in the car. A lot smoother, a lot more timing in the top end.
The factory maps are pretty basic and very conservative with engine longevity rather than performance in mind, but Dale can rewrite or adjust everything via his laptop.
I was trying to tell him before, I think we need a big shot of nitrous or big turbo. Maybe both. Yeah, both. As it stands now, just with the cold air setup, good tune, so the car's running nice and clean. I've kept fuel economy, but I'm still making better power. I'm getting about 325 at the wheels. So we'll take the car to the drags on Wednesday night again, run on slicks with front runners, and see if we can't drop into the 12s as we sand.
Of course, it won't stop there, and Martin is keen on modifying the SS in order to chase faster times. We'll check back soon with Martin to see how the Utes going and what the next step is.
Right, here I am at the rear of Project Phoenix. Now the guys here at Ray Jenner have spent a lot of time smoothing out all the lumps, bumps and imperfections in the body, and they've even done a bit of custom work. Now as you guys would know, there's a seam running through this panel here in the VN and VP range. The guys here at Ray Jenner have welded that and smoothed it out, which is just going to add to the flowing lines of the car. Now, a couple of days ago, I put some speakers into Stoney's ute, so let's have a look at how that went. Hey, how you going? We've got a VUSS ute and we're just looking to upgrade the factory speakers. And I know that a 6.5 inch speaker fits in the hole, so I was just looking at your catalogue and saw that these Fusion Encounter speakers look pretty good. What are they like?
Okay, we've just got them in. They're part of the new Fusion range. A lot of the young guys use them.
Okay,
they're good quality, good sound. Are you running subs, anything like that with them?
No, it's just an aftermarket head unit and factory speakers.
Well, they should be fine then.
Great, okay, we'll take a set of those.
Yep, I'll just grab you a pair.
Great, thank you.
So they're here.
Fantastic. Well, thank you very much.
Okay, see you later.
Thanks a lot. Alright, well we're back from Repco with our Fusion Encounter 6.5 inch splits, and we've got Stoney's ute here, so let's get started and whack them in. Now in the VU, the factory speakers are actually splits and the tweeter is up in the dash here, so first and foremost you need to pull the dash apart to get to the tweeter, and then we need to pull the door trim off to get to the woofer that's in the door. Okay, well this is the factory tweeter assembly, and as you can see it's just a simple metal bracket which screws into the back of the factory tweeter. And here we have the new Fusion Encounter tweeter, which actually has the screw mounting in the back already, so it's essentially a bolt-in fit for the Commodore, and that'll go straight back in where the factory one came out of. Now we'll screw the tweeter wiring into the Fusion crossover, and you just have to pop the back off, and there's these gold plated terminals in the back, and as you can see they have connections for the tweeter, the woofer, and of course the input from the head unit. It's a simple matter of inserting the wire and then tightening the screw down. The VU door trim's held on by a series of clips and screws, so we'll start pulling it apart so we can get at the speaker. To disconnect the power mirror switch, that's the door trim off. Alright, well here you can see the new Fusion Encounter speaker and the original factory paper cone speaker. The cone size is basically the same, but when you flip them over, there's a big difference. Now the factory speaker, the magnet's quite small, whereas as you can see with the Fusion speaker, the magnet's much larger and the structure is much more intricate, which means it's a stronger cone, which means it can pump out the mid-range much more efficiently. The issue we have though is the magnet is so large, we need to modify the factory speaker spacer in order for it to fit. The part we're going to have to modify is this section through here. We're going to have to actually cut that away to allow the magnet and the cone of the Fusion speaker to fit. Now, it may look crude, but it's going to provide the space we need, and at the end of the day you can't see it anyway because it's behind the door trim. Alright, so in the door here we've got the original factory wiring connections cut and stripped. Now I've taken the end piece off the Fusion wiring and I'm going to splice it into the factory wiring, solder it and then heat shrink it. So what we'll do now is connect in the Fusion speaker and then we'll screw the rest into the door. So I've pulled the plug out of the loom for the door and I've located the two speaker wires in it and disconnected them from the deck side of the loom, and it'll be these that go into our crossover because we've connected the speaker to these two wires. The other two ends of the wire, the speaker wires which are connected to the deck, be connected to the input section of the crossover. Now we're just going to install the crossover in under the dash and then we'll secure it with a screw or two. You've got your tweeter level adjustment on the back of the crossover. Now there's no real hard and fast rule to this. We've got all the speakers installed and wired, and after having a listen we preferred the +3 decibel setting, and that's what we're going to leave it on. So after a few hours work we've finished installing the Fusion Encounter speakers into the ute. Pretty easy install, went straight into the factory mounting holes. A few little modifications, but nothing too major. They sound fantastic, which is obviously the most important thing, and it was a pretty cheap install too. Now, if you're interested in some fusion gear, go check out your local Repco and they'll look after you.
So the interior is not much to look at the moment. That's because it's been all stripped out for paint. The custom interior by Auto Image is just sitting down in Melbourne waiting for us, so when the car goes back down there, we'll get that fitted up, and this thing should be looking on song. One car blade that's had a pretty wicked interior was Marty's Hulk. So when we got that in the studio, we put out the video cameras and got some footage of that. Check that out.
It's hard to imagine this car as anything other than a wildly modified middle-gen Commodore, but when Marty got his hands on it, that's exactly what it was. Over the 6 years that he's owned it, Marty set about making one very plain VS into one very mean cruiser. The paint and panel work are possibly the most stunning aspects of the Hulk. A VX Senator style kit wraps the lower half of the car with M3 style mirrors and customised Altezza lights to complete the package. The factory Botanica mica paint was just too plain for a car like this, so Marty had Hulk inspired images airbrushed over almost every exterior surface. Inside, the green guy strikes again. The interior colour scheme has been changed from Holden issue grey to a green and dark blue combination, with extensive muralling of the dash, console, door trims, roof lining and even the vinyl trim seats. As you'd expect from a cruiser like the Hulk, the stereo is quite extensive and culminates in the novel boot install. A pair of 15-inch subs live in an intricately painted sewer scene. The pipes are actually real sewer pipes and weigh some 40 kilos. Whilst not the rolling stock choice for many, the 20-inch Volt-de-Ville wheels suit the Hulk down to the ground. The car has been lowered 4 inches, which, with the help of the body kit, gives the Hulk a mean stance. The VS originally had an Ecotec V6 living in the engine bay, but the lack of power finally got the better of Marty. We wouldn't like it if the Hulk got angry, but Marty's fit of rage ended in an injected 5-litre transplant and some serious detailing of the engine bay. The bay is fully smoothed and null of any fuse boxes, wiring, holes or imperfections. On the streets, the Hulk cuts a mean figure and turns more than a few heads. The car was built with cruising in mind, and on any given weekend you can bet that Marty will head out with the Money Pits Inc. crew and cut a few laps. Look out in the future as Marty intends on stroking and boosting the Holden 5-litre, which will surely have many green with envy.
Upcoming events: MotorX Sydney, 30th of June to the 1st of July. Cruise for Charity 4, Sydney, 28th of July. Cruise for Charity 4, Perth, 4th of August. All Holden Day, New South Wales, 4th and 5th of August. Cruise for Charity 4, Queensland, 12th of August. Cruise for Charity 4, Melbourne, 18th of August. Cruise for Charity 4, Adelaide, 26th of August. Deniliquin Ute Muster, Deniliquin, 28th to 29th of September. Dyno Day, Graham West Workshops, Adelaide, 29th of September. Gazza Nats, Adelaide International Raceway, Adelaide, 13th to the 14th of October. Street Commodores Holden Drag Nationals, Heathcote, 20th of October. Dyno Day, Formula Tech, Perth, November the 3rd.
Here in this pile of bent and dented panels is Project Phoenix's old front and rear bumpers, which are getting replaced with a brand new VP Senator style fiberglass kit from Fiber Sports. We're really into our DIY projects here at Street Commodores, and Chris recently undertook one on his Ecotec V6 fitting a Raptor blower. Let's check it out.
Waste away with me from the other side.
G'day, my name's Chris. I'm the magazine's web editor, Today we're going to be installing a Raptor supercharger kit on my VS Ecotec V6 right here. Okay, first things first, we've got to remove the stock intake piping. There's a few hose clamps to undo, then there's a couple of 10mm bolts on the bottom of the airbox. So we'll undo those and we'll get started.
The first job on the list was to remove all of the intake system, as well as the coil packs from the engine.
These have to get relocated into the back to make way for the supercharger. The kit comes with a bracket that allows us to do this easily with no fuss. So we'll just unbolt the coil packs here, bolt them to the bracket at the back of the motor, and we'll continue on our way.
A new coil adapter plate is supplied in the kit that relocated the packs to the rear of the cylinder head. Next we move on to the injectors. The Raptor Pro Street kit comes with 36 pound-per-hour injectors, which need to be used in place of the standard V6 ones.
So to do this, we've got to take the top of the intake manifold off, then we've got to take the bottom of the plenum off here. When you take that off, the fuel rails will come with it, exposing the 6 injectors. So if we take the top off that now, we can get started.
From here it's just a simple swap over, and it's time to refit the fuel rail and plenum.
Okay, that's what one of the old injectors look like. Got to replace it with one of these new ones that comes with the kit.
Then it was time to move on to fitting up the compressor itself.
Okay, got the coil packs at the back of the motor, got the injectors in place. It's now time to get the supercharger to the front of the motor. That's done by using this triangular bracket here, 3 bolts, couldn't be simpler.
Once the supercharger is bolted firmly into place, it's time to install all of the polished intake pipework. All of the necessary bends, silicone joiners and hose clamps are included in the kit, and it's simply a case of linking the throttle body to the compressor outlet.
The promises are broken, sadness feeling free, it's killing me. What I felt when you're gone left me strong out on my own.
Okay, as you just seen, we installed the airflow meter and the air filter to the front of the compressor. Now it's just as simple as installing the vacuum line to the back of the intake manifold. We can move on to the next step of installing the supercharger's cooling system.
From here, the vacuum pressure actuation line gets installed between the rear of the plenum and the Bosch blow-off valve.
Okay, one thing unique about the Raptor superchargers is they come with a transmission cooling system, which we now need to install. What that is, an electric fan that blows cool air into the top of the supercharger, keeps things cool when you're giving it a hard time.
Waste away with me from the other side. Will I find?
Now, wires, fan spins. It's not rocket science.
Now it's just the supercharger's cooling system to fit. This is simply a high-flow electric fan which gets connected to the supercharger's transmission system and gets wired into the vehicle's thermofan power supply.
Okay, it's 4 hours later, the MEMCAL's installed. Let's kick it in the guts and take it to the track.
Right, this is one of the original guards off Project Phoenix. Now obviously it's a VN style guard, but seeing as we're going to a VP Senator kit, we're also updating to VP guards, and we're also adding a VZSS guard flute, which is going to look pretty damn cool. And one other thing that looks pretty cool is Mick Kane's VC rally car, so let's have a look at that.
My name's Michael Kane. I bought this car when I was drifting in my road car and thought, no, I don't want to do this anymore, I'll wreck it. So it was just basically a shell and an engine, and that was it. So bought it. go tarmac rallying in it, and so pulled it all apart again and dumped it into this. Well, the engine is the engine that I got with the car, except back then it was carburetted, so we put fuel injection on the top of it, but the rest of the engine remained untouched, so that's what it is. It makes about, I don't know, 350, 370 horse, not much more than that. The rest of the car was the problem. Suspension was all different for driving on a racetrack to driving on real roads, which you do in a rally. Suspension had to change completely, so we had to put coilovers and different bars, different shocks, different springs, just about everything. Redid the entire rear end and fabricated a whole rear end with a triangulating bar and roll centre adjustment, things like that. So now it's all height adjustable for just about everything, bumper rebound and all that stuff. And changed the transmission, put in a 6-speed manual out of a Commodore. Then it was all the getting the body back into shape so that it would be a decent body and not look too bad. The flares on, put the wider wheels on, adjusted the track, changed just about everything you can change on the car except the engine. The cage is just a straight CAMS approved cage from a Group 3C race car, just as the regs require it. It's actually not entirely finished yet because it's certified as it is, but I really want to put a taxi bar across the back of it to hook the harnesses off there. Yeah, I put the biggest brakes I could afford on. So it's running 6-pot Alcons with, I think they're 343mm discs. The rears are 4-spot APs, running just slightly smaller discs, but the same thickness, 36mm all round. Front wheels are Buddy Club 17x8s, rear wheels also Buddy Club 17x9s, and there's 2 sets of each for dry and wet weather, or in this case for chuck away tyres and good tyres. Normally I run a set of Advans, or when I can get them, if I can afford them, Bridgestone, I think they're SO2s. They've been about the best I've found. They're fantastic, those things. They grip like slicks, but they're road legal. They're just awesome tyres. They don't last too long, but gee, they got some grip. Brilliant tyres.
Climate change and global warming are among today's most pressing environmental issues. Brought about by increased concentrations of greenhouse gases in the atmosphere, transport is Australia's fastest growing source of greenhouse gas emissions. Green Fleet is a non-profit organisation. Our program provides a simple way to reduce your car's impact on the environment. For $40, which is tax deductible, Green Fleet will plant 17 native trees on your behalf. These trees will help to create a forest, and as they grow will absorb the greenhouse gases that your car produces in 1 year, based on 4.3 tonnes of carbon dioxide for the average car. Science shows that 17 mixed species trees will not only absorb a car's greenhouse emissions, but will also help to tackle salinity, improve water quality, and provide essential habitat for native species. Since 1997, Green Fleet has planted more than 2 million trees on behalf of Australian motorists and fleets. These forests will not be harvested and will create an investment in rural Australia for future generations. Join Street Commodores in the fight to offset our carbon emissions by registering for our Cleaner Air Challenge and do something good for the environment. Simply log on to streetcommodores.com to find out more.
Now the only thing in this awesome bay at the moment is me being a bit of an idiot. But soon there's going to be a Sam's Performance built Yellow Terra blown Holden 5 litre, which should make a fair bit of power. A few cars making a bit of power at Power Cruise. Why don't you check that out?
You don't seem to understand it. The undoing of your soul. Can't just let it go and be free. Somewhere in my heart, there's a hole shaped like you. Now I've tried to patch it up with paper cuts and glue.
Okay, we're here at Power Cruise 8 at Eastern Creek in Sydney, and I'm speaking with Rob Vickery from the Horsepower Factory. Now, Rob, what's changed since we featured it back in issue 105?
Well, I suppose a few things have changed. The engine combination is different. We've now gone to a 360 cube motor, different turbo setup, and we've now gone to a T105 Turbonetics Monster Turbo.
It's huge.
Yeah, it's pretty big. Rated to 2,000 horsepower. The car's obviously brand new combination. We've only really had it going the last few days, so we're not leaning on it too hard yet. But in testing, it's sort of showing us some 1200 rear wheel at 25 pounds of boost. We've got the new dry ice intercooler set up, and we're sort of getting to air intake temps of minus 30, which is sort of unbelievable.
And you're going to be running it later on today?
Yeah, we are. We made sort of 950, pretty confident it was wheel spinning. Checked the graph and had a look at the log, and there's more there. We know the car's going to make 1200, we just got to tie it down properly.
And you're going to continue development up, leading up to Summonats 21?
Yeah, look, that's what this car's been built for, really, and that's why we're not leaning on it too hard right now. We just want to ease our way into things, and Summonats is where we're really aimed.
Well, thanks for your time, and we'll check you out in the dyno later on.
No problems, thanks, Ben.
All right, I'm here with Jeremy. We're in front of his VB SLE. Now, Jeremy tells us this is a home job. Can you tell us a bit about it?
Yeah, it's just me VB Commodore. It's standard stroke 304, 5 litre. with their 800 horsepower Garrett turbo on it, trans brake turbo 400, spooled rear end in it.
What's next for it?
Next is camshaft and valve springs for it, so I can rev it, do that, set some intercool set up, and yeah, keep going. So
That's excellent. Thanks very much for your time.
We're here with James at Power Cruise, whose car, of course, we know from our internet forum. He's a forum member, so pretty tidy car, mate. Why don't you tell us a bit about it?
It's a 355 stroker under the hood, very basic build. It's got a full respray in Toyota Bishop Blue.
Nice one, mate. Where do we go from here with this?
I'm hoping to get the interior fully redone, a few little dents and chips fixed up, and I hope to supercharge and intercool it.
Nice one. Now, mate, you're about to head out on the track. We might climb in at some stage with you if that's all right. Get some in-car footage, maybe.
Absolutely.
Too easy. That's what it's all about, guys.
Somewhere in my heart, there's a hole shaped like you. Now I've tried to patch it up with paper cuts and glue.
All right, we're here with Brian from ProBag, and this is his cool little pink beast. It's not a Commodore, but forgive us, guys, it's got the entire running gear out of a VK in there, so we thought it's worth a look in, mate. What's the deal with it? What have you done to it?
Well, basically it's a Lada Neva. We decided and we had a spare VK lying around with a 5 litre in it, so we thought we'd strip it all down and cut it up and make it all fit.
And the turbo setup, mate, when did that go on?
We finished it last Wednesday. We had a quick dyno session on Wednesday night, and that involved a bit of water in the car park and giving it a bit of a thrash, and yep, didn't detonate, so we thought we'll bring it down here.
And in the back, mate, you got a fair bit of chrome in the back. What's all that set up?
That's just basically the airbag setup. It's a bit overkill. There's enough gear in there to run basically 3 cars. It does jump off the ground and that, so...
Oh, nice one.
Yeah.
And that's the kind of setup you guys do down at ProBag, or?
Yeah, basically anything air suspension. Just give it all a go. You can bag anything, I reckon.
Nice one. For a promo vehicle, guys, it doesn't come much better than that.
So that was all the action of DVD Live Volume 7. We hope you enjoyed it. Now don't forget about Cruise for Charity starting in Sydney on July 28th. It's going to be massive, so don't miss out.
And don't miss out on issue 129 either, guys. On sale the day before on the 27th of July.
Thanks for watching. We'll catch you next time.